YouTube, my name is KarQ. Welcome to another week of Hot Takes. This one is going to be live on Twitch at twitch.tv/KarQ. People are spamming the nice fish on the left side, along with a little bit of my face. They're here to have a good time and probably make fun of your takes if they're really hot, or if not, they're going to agree to you. You can see their response. You can hear my response. Let us begin with the first one, a fiery take. At least half the complaints behind the matchmaker are usually because they want a perfect matchmaker that will only give them wins, or they'll just blame the matchmaker after they lost the first two fights. The matchmaker can never solve these issues no matter what you do. I mean, this isn't even a take. This is not a hot take. This is just a normal assessment of basic player psychology. It's always deflect blame into everything else except yourself. Not a hot take. I mean, people will blame the one person on a team, blame the matchmaker for causing them to lose the game. You lose the first two fights, they just give up. Their mentals boom. They say it's the matchmaker's fault. There are certainly ways to squeeze one out. And yeah, this is one of those like, yeah, the sky is blue, water is wet. Not really a hot take. Hot take, if half the fun of playing an online game is talking shit to strangers, you should seek therapy and probably limit your game time. Okay, there's a difference between like friendly banter between people you know. I never really, I mean, I was once a teenager. I was never like that deep into talking shit, but I had my rage moments when I played Halo 3 when I was 14. I remember I threw my controller on my couch and then it ricocheted off my couch and it fell to the ground and it dented the hardwood floor. That's about as deep as my frustration went. I haven't been the same since. But the difference between like friendly banter and then obviously like talking shit and like slurring a person because they're playing poorly. I don't think it's like fun. It's just people, that's their emotional outlet when they feel like all things are lost. If you find it fun to provoke strangers in like a hurtful, mean, slurry, racist way, then obviously you should seek therapy and limit your game time. The rest is usually an emotional outburst in response to losing the game, which, you know, there's a million plus players. Not everyone can regulate their emotions and control how they feel, and I hope they're working on it, but that's the best you can do. I try to lead by example. I do the Emong method. I'm just vibing and I move on with my life, and we go from there. That's how I move the needle forward. Hot take, I hate projectile DPS players. I will not deny that hitscan DPS is eating good right now with season 12 with Ashe meta, but it absolutely grinds my, oh my god, this was posted in August, but that's all right, this probably still works. It absolutely grinds my gears to see projectile players go another season of complaining about hitscan. They want you to believe Pharah meta in season 11 didn't ruin the match quality with her new rework, or Echo didn't see tons of play in OWCS in Korea, blah blah blah. Hell, I'd argue that the only reason Cass has any relevance is due to Tracers running around since season 9. This current meta with Ashe only feels unhealthy because of Mercy's buffs making pocketing her way more wait, they buffed Mercy in season 12? I don't remember this. These complaints have happened since Overwatch 1. I'm honestly tired of hearing it. Not only is it the same story told again, but I honestly feel for them considering how dirty they've done their heroes over the years. I am lost with this take. This is a large yap. Your take is that you hate projectile DPS players, but like, okay. I need a take about like an opinion of the game, not like that you just specifically hate projectile DPS players. You hate how they complain, but like you will hear complaints about random things and whatever meta anywhere you go, and it depends on the community you listen to. I don't even know, was Ashe really that meta last season? I mean, she was good, but dude, I'm lost. I'm not even gonna answer this. I'm going. Next, hot take. In my opinion, Clash and Flashpoint, to a lesser extent, is the definitive Overwatch 2 game mode due to how it plays. Whoa. Clash and Flashpoint is the definitive Overwatch 2 game mode. See, this is a take. Okay, what's your rationale? I absolutely adore how fast-paced and chaotic it is. The near constant battle, all the angles people can show up from, the rush of pushing back after being taken straight to spawn, and how short it is, the fact that it can feel so extremely high energy, like you just fought a 20-minute long match where the average game match is only 7 to 8 minutes. That's the exact experience I picture as Overwatch 2. It's the exact experience I enjoy from the game. I think Hanaoka definitely needs some work with that and a new map or two, but it would easily still be my favorite game mode. You guys are saying it's a spicy take. I'm actually gonna go on a limb and agree that this season, this is 6 days ago, they changed Clash, and every Clash game I've played this season specifically, the feeling that DJ Baphomet has explained, where it can feel extremely high energy, is actually true. They made it so the spawn times on point B and D are a little different, and E is a bit longer to cap. Every game has been crazy. If you guys watched like my first week of games last week, some of you guys were here. Did you guys see that 13-minute Clash game, like back to back? 13 minutes for a Clash game, and it was like tight. non-stop fighting and action. I thought Clash was my least favorite Overwatch 2 game mode, but ever since the last 2 weeks, Clash has been acceptable for me. I actually don't mind seeing it because it's actually been a crazy back and forth. Small sample size, of course, but it's growing on me. Throne of Anubis is a bad map. Throne of Anubis middle point needs some work because the entry point is so freaking narrow into the damn pyramid. I think they should widen that a little bit, or just tell people to actually take the side angles. Everybody likes to go on the little ledge or try to funnel into the middle, but genuinely go around the bottom right, but then the bottom right puts you on low ground. There's a couple of different ways to play around it, but yeah, I think Hanaoka is a little bit better than Throne of Anubis personally, but Flashpoint's actually okay as well. I still think the other game modes are better, like Hybrid and Control, but like I think Push has now moved down to my least favorite, and Clash and Flashpoint are up there. It is fast-paced. It is definitely chaotic. Push is a little slow because it's a little back and forth and a little bit of like the bot moves for a little bit. I agree with this take. Chat doesn't. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Okay, next hot take. The best part of the old 2CP game mode wasn't actually that it was 2CP, but that the asymmetrical map allowed for more hero diversity to be played. Now in Overwatch 2, almost all the maps feel similar and enable similar heroes and comps, leaving a lot of slower, more static heroes behind. Having a game mode like 2CP, but not exactly 2CP, with an asymmetrical design would allow for heroes like Sim, Torb, Junk to have a place without having to be buffed and give people a chance to play something different every now and again. I mean, Payload and the other maps aren't asymmetrical either, and then there's certainly phases of maps where heroes like the builders, like Torb, Sim, and Junk. Junk's not really a builder, but there's certain phases of maps that play very different. Like phase 1, 0.1 Nabani versus 0.2 long angle Nabani versus 0.3 all three play different, and different heroes are viable on different points. And I think people should probably learn to swap for things like that to have a bit more of a dynamic experience. Or no, you're saying the best part of TCP. I thought you were complaining about it. Yes and no. It was asymmetrical, but the design of it was also kind of shit too. Again, Hanamura, what diversity of comps? I guess you opt for a symmetric comp if you want to teleport across that coast side, or other than that, you're literally stuck going into that one single top right room, no matter what comp you played. It was kind of ass. It's not necessarily the asymmetrical map itself. It was just, I guess the best part of it was the fact that it was frustrating. It had very high highs and low lows, actually. That's my response to this. The best parts of 2CP were literally where you were on defense thinking you're about to lose and you guys like just keep rolling out stalling, and then you end up like stabilizing, and then you sit back and you wipe the sweat off your tears, unclench your asshole and go like, holy shit team, how did we hold that? Feels really good when you're on that defensive end and you do that, but it feels terrible for the attacking end. So obviously if you do it on the attacking end, you have to receive it too. So you're gonna also have that same frustration where you're like, oh my god, we fucking full held that. Woo, feels amazing. And then you go on the attack, he flips sides and you can't even cap point A, and then you feel like shit again. But yeah, those were the worst parts of 2CP. I don't know how I'm getting here. Let's go back to why it was the best. For your opinion, was the best part was asymmetrical. I do think that's a hot take. I don't think it's the asymmetry. That's the TLDR. The best part was like the craziness and always the sweat on the stalls when you're on the defensive end. Ooh, somebody has said this before, but I'm gonna read this take again. Hot take: KarQ will never understand non-North American metal rank players. North America is so much different than Europe. I feel like, what? Maybe. I'm not sure what the hero tendencies are in Europe. They're saying metal rank players in Europe will play a different subset of heroes is what they're implying. I know for sure in Asia, even if you're like in gold, silver, you're gonna see way more Doomfist and like Winston and Dive heroes because they tend to like imitate and mimic the high ranks. EU loves Brawl, Asia loves Dive, NA plays fucking, I don't know, man. Maybe I won't understand it like because I don't play it, but like I can, you know, outside looking in, it's all just chaos, poor movement. It's a relative rank to the entire region, so generally speaking, they're all going to have pretty similar mistakes, but the hero choices might be a little different. EU has more hit scan junkies, less comms, more Brawl, is what I would assume. Oh, an opposite opinion of Clash. Here we go. Clash is genuinely one of the biggest pieces of dog water I've ever played in my life. I've never had a game where it wasn't a roll over them or we get rolled over. As soon as momentum builds on either side, it's basically game over unless someone ints hard AF. Mid-Masters low GM for reference. Like, it's at the point where if I'm in quick play and I instantly leave because it's never been an enjoyable experience. See, I've had the opposite opinion where it wasn't. Sometimes you get those random complete rolls, but it feels like when you're getting rolled 2-0 early, 3-0, you're actually able to come back and take the next two and just it's even again in the middle. I've had it where I was winning the whole game and then just end up losing a couple in a row and lose the whole game. And on the flip side, get absolutely smoked, turn it back around. And then lately, again, as you heard earlier, the last 2 weeks of the new season, it's been pretty chaotic. I think I've only had 4-4 games down to the wire where it wasn't like a hard stomp on either side. It's definitely tweaked a little bit. It still needs work, but yeah. Why did you include this one in here? This is from August. This is release Juno. Oh, we're reading this, by the way. Juno is complete ass cheeks. Almost release Lifeweaver level of ass cheeks. She isn't even close to Lucio for speed. She isn't better than Baptiste, Kiriko, or even Moira as a main source of heals or extra damage. People just don't want to admit it because she's fun. Lifeweaver was only worse because he had no agency to do anything, even if you were a significantly better player. Yeah, we know how this played out. I mean, I'm laughing here because Beast Lights is part of this community, and his take early on was like, yeah, Juno's bad. I'm like, no, she isn't. And then we saw, as time went on, oh, there he is. Oh, perfect timing. I love how it got put in this episode, because if your take is in our giant pool of hot takes and it doesn't get answered, we don't remove it yet. He admitted he was wrong. Words Overwatch players would never say. I love Winston, but he definitely has the worst ult. Okay, we're back to certainly a hot take. Winston's Primal is actually a fantastic tank ultimate. It's so good. It is extremely high skill ceiling, very rewarding if you are mechanically gifted and you juggle the right person. Positional displacement, singling people out for burst damage and completely killing somebody, getting a gazillion jumps for mobility. It's one of the best ultimates in the game, in my opinion. If you're bad at it, then it's terrible, because it's just a delayed feed button where you feed the enemy ult charge. Very wrong. Very, very wrong. Hot take, they need to just throw out all of Orisa's abilities and start over with her again. Her cooldowns all feel terrible to fight. Her ultimate feels terrible to use, and she overall feels like she doesn't know if she wants to be a poke tank or a brawl tank. In my opinion, she should be reworked into a dedicated poke, since Sigma kind of feels like the only one of those right now. Nah. I actually think, okay, this is my hot take. Orisa's kind of fun to play. I just think she's annoying to play against, because she plays unconventional, because she has a gap closer, and she can eat all abilities with the suck while gap closing, which is kind of annoying. Like, hot take, when I played the Junkensteins or whatever, the ability thing, and I played Orisa, she was kind of fun. But obviously that's with like the crazy buffs on the arcade mode. I just don't pick Orisa in quick play a lot, because it's unethical, quote unquote. I don't want people to like not have a good time in quick play, because I'm a considerate guy, you know what I'm saying? I actually think old Orisa 1 was worse. Like, Bongo and Shield was incredibly more frustrating to play. This one's a lot more dynamic and pretty fun to land some fun spears. And if you're gonna give a tank like no shield, you have to have like some sort of durability button, and that's what Fortify is. I don't think Fortify is that bad. I actually think it's mostly the fact that your ultimate gives you a Fortify, and you can cycle that with your spin and your thing, and it just ends up being crazy when you combo it all, plus a lot of armor in the front. It's like all the pieces together kind of make it annoying to play against. But what do you want from a tank? They have to be able to absorb some damage, right? And you're saying that you don't know if she wants to be poke or brawl, but I think it's fine to have a hybrid. I think it's perfectly okay to have a little bit of it all. Yes?
Justice for Ben.
Why?
Justice.
There's no justice. He was wrong. He had a terrible take. I think it's fine that she's hybrid brawl and poke. I don't think we have a hero like that. I don't want too many heroes to feel super homogenous, where like they have to be one archetype and one archetype only, where you'd like only make her a dedicated poke. I think there's a place for that, but we're already at a point where she can do a little bit of both, and I think that's okay. Kind of like Ram, where you can poke or go brawl. I think that's a cool element of a tank. It gives you more agency to kind of pick and choose. The only problem is if she's really good at both. Like Ram, when he's in like base form, you know his poke is just there, and he's a little weak. He has to like stall, because the brawl is the good stuff. But Orisa is good both ways, where you can actually have very strong poke at medium, long range, and if she's in your face, it's probably over for you. I don't know. Orisa's always like either really bad or really good, because like if you tweak, it's all about the timing of her cooldowns. If one of them gets pushed too far and you can't cycle it, then you've just become a giant meat shield with like, or sorry, just a giant like walking ult battery, because you actually just fall over if you can't survive. So I don't know, you just have to lean in. You can keep both parts, but just make one stronger than the other. I think that's the direction you have to go to. Okay, hot take, Mercy's damage boost hurts the 5v5 layout of the game. Being able to damage boost one person throughout the entire game is just crazy to me, especially when we're only limited to one tank, and we will have to waste our abilities to try and get to the Mercy pocket and the Mercy too. Funny enough, Mercy's just like not really good right now in this current meta. Like she's acceptable for most players on average, but like in the high end, she's kind of like doesn't do much. If the person you're pocketing doesn't do anything, then it can feel pretty bad. I don't know. I think they've tweaked it enough where it's not overwhelming anymore. All the HP went up in season 9 to 250, so the breakpoints aren't that bad anymore. It's certainly annoying to play against a pocketed thing, but you have to remember you're fighting a 1v2. If you decide to challenge the pocketed person and the Mercy, you know, you're already playing at a disadvantage because there's two people on that angle. And I think that's what people forget. If they have the Ashe Mercy on an opposite angle, like that's strength that people just tend to lose to and vent to frustration. But that's how you're supposed to play a lot of like support. If you play KarQ, if you play Lucio, I learned this a lot when I was doing my OWCS stuff with like Emong and Jay and stuff. Like you notice we don't have a Mercy pocket, but we have Apply on Tracer and Custa on Lucio, literally taking an angle two people. So if they have one person challenging it, they can't do it. Now imagine you replace that with the Pharah Mercy or an Ashe Mercy on the off angle. You don't really want to challenge the 1v2. It's not going to be very good. But yeah, Mercy has to, like, her entire like identity there is like boosting and or damage boosting, and you're expending two people. And if you can figure out a way to stop that angle without losing your life, you will probably win. I don't know. I don't really think it's a problem per se right now. But if the damage boost changes the breakpoints, if damage boost is back at 30% and the HP pools are lower like it used to be, we can have some problems, but I think she's acceptable for where the game is right now. Hot take, I think Blizzard needs to provide a stream of their patch balance testing and new character testing. It's evident that they don't understand word balance or that they don't know how to play this game. It's like when you play Super Smash Bros. With your friend versus playing in a competitive nature is completely different, and maybe they don't think or play like the average player. What do you mean a stream of their patches? What is that supposed to mean? And character testing? Well, let's break that down. A, they are doing a little character free trials right now. The last two times we had Mauga trial at BlizzCon, they gave you the Venture free trial for a few days. They gave us a Juno free trial a little bit to test the character. So A, that's already been solved. B, you don't understand the word balance or don't know how to play this game. It's such a blanket statement. What do you mean playing Smash Bros with your friend versus playing competitive? So you're arguing casual versus competitive balancing. Well, we know the game is kind of balanced to all. They do their best to listen to casuals. That's why they keep freaking changing and nerfing Sombra, because like Sombra is a problem for casual and average players. And then they also take into account what high-end players are doing. They put this in an article. Aaron Keller did it in a director's take, where it's like, okay, it's very easy to listen to this one echo chamber because your community and your idea of balance is based on what you're reading in this subset. And he's like, well, look at Asia. Player behavior completely different. What seems to be a problem here on English-speaking NA or EU, none of these Asian players play these heroes. They play like this hero. So is that hero, is it the hero itself or is it just player behavior? You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know where I'm trying to go with this. Okay, I know where I'm going with this. This hot take is definitely written out of frustration for you probably losing a bunch of games and you're blaming Blizzard instead of looking inwards. Hot take, if you lose your game and it's not your teammates, if you lose your game, it's not your teammates' fault. If you think like that, it is because you do not admit your mistake and automatically block your progress. Even if one of your teammates is really in a rank above what he should be, you must be in a state of mind of what more can I do to compensate the difference in level of your teammate. It is only in this state of mind that we can move forward. Okay, there's Zenyatta. God damn. Only then, in this state, can you move forward. Sometimes a single team fight can be lost based on one person's actions. It could be a teammate's fault for one thing, but there's so many game states in a 10-15 minute game. Maybe they lost a more important one at the end, but how did we get to this fight? Because you yourself maybe messed up on a fight earlier, and then the fight before that, another person messed up, which, you know, snowballed into a bunch of mess ups. It's all about who fucks up less collectively. And to say it's one single player the whole game, like that implies you played perfect, everybody else played perfect, which is incorrect. So it's easy to see like this fight, we lost because of you, but like we shouldn't have let them cap 70% anyways, because like I fucked up 3 fights ago, something like that. The butterfly effect. We're playing Until Dawn here. But you're not wrong. Like, you should admit you're not playing perfect and you probably made some mistakes too. And it will hinder your progress if you don't like have that perspective, in my opinion, as well. Like, and managing your expectations is just a healthier mindset where like, yeah, maybe my teammate fucked up there or I fucked up there. And you just have to compensate a little bit. And when you say compensate, you also have to adapt. Ask not what your team can do for you. Ask what you can do for your team. Anyways, that's it for the hot takes. Thanks for listening.